What's up guys, it's Dono. In this video I'm going to be talking about how complex should you be when you're rapping. The question I get asked is, how complex do I need to be? Like, sometimes these bars go over people's heads, other times they don't. And the real problem with that is thinking that there's a level of complexity that's too high. That makes you think that, there's some kind of balance you have to strike between complexity and simplicity and your audience. And I mean, to some degree, you do have to know who your audience is, but the real question is, how well are you communicating what you're trying to get across? Because the problem is, most of the time when you're a rapper and you're like, well, I write these really great bars, but nobody can understand it. Like, I've heard that so many times. I'm so good, but just nobody gets what I'm trying to say. The problem is not the audience. The problem is you. If you're writing like these super complex bars that nobody gets, it's not because they're super complex and everyone's too stupid to understand what it is. It's because you're not communicating your ideas in a way that people can pick up. Now, I know that I'm kind of drawing a hard line, but I struggled with this for a long time, right? Like, I'm pretty lyrical. I tried to write this stuff that I was like, oh, this is so dope, and blah, blah, blah. And then I would recite it and no one would get it. That's because what I was saying didn't make any sense. The better that you're able to communicate your idea, and the more people that can pick up on it, the more skilled you are. You're not skilled by making all these random, obscure references that nobody can pick up. That's just, to feed your own ego. You need to get good at communicating these kinds of complex bars if you want people to understand them. It's not because they're stupid, it's because you're saying stuff that doesn't make sense. A couple of you are going to take that as, oh, you need to dumb everything down. That's not the case either. You don't have to dumb your stuff down. You just have to communicate it in a way people can pick up what you're talking about. I'm so sick of running into rappers that are like, I'm so good, but no one gets me. It's not that. Just communicate in a way people can understand. Let me give you an example. You best check yourself. I only focus on one thing because I jumped enough positions to become king. All right, so if you listen to that bar, you may have picked up that I was talking about checkers, but you may have not. Like, the references that I used are so obscure and built into the language that, like, most people are not going to pick that up, right? Let me give you a different example. Built pieces on each other. My best moves are unseen. Life is like checkers. I make moves to become king. Now notice how both of those lines that I said kind of communicate the same idea, but in one variant, it's a lot more clear what I'm talking about. Now some of you are going to be thinking, that's a cop-out. Like, you just told them exactly what the bar was about. They have to think about it and figure it out. Like, come on, man. Like, if you use these references in a way that are so obscure no one can pick them up, it's not working. Like, it's not a cop-out to make it clear enough that people can understand it. In addition to the way that you write out your bars, you got to think about the way that you deliver them as well, right? Because with a different cadence or a different delivery, you can make a concept really clear or really difficult to understand. The other part of it is if you're going to use, these complex ideas, like in a song, if you smash 50 like really complex ideas together, chances are people are not going to pick up on that. You got to give them a little bit of time to digest what you're saying and understand the bars. The more that you just kind of like build into it in a short period of time, like if you're rapping at double time and put in like 30 references, people are not going to be able to pick that up. I'm kind of drawing a hard line here, but I also know that a lot of you are trying to get into kind of the battle scene, and this is when this is really the most important, because if you don't use, the most clear, coherent, communicated bars, you are not going to win. Like, if people don't understand your stuff because you're not communicating it well, you will lose every battle, even though you think you're super clever. That's why I'm drawing such a hard line on this. I want you to win. So you have to think about how you're communicating and who your audience is, not about how clever you are. You can write some of the coolest, most complex ideas, but if you're not communicating them, they just get buried in the other language and you get nothing from it. So the next time that you try to come up with these really clever ideas and integrate some wordplay, take a minute to think about how you're communicating it. Take a minute to think about, as a listener, if you could really understand the references that you're pulling together. Like, how are you going to know what you're talking about? Are they just supposed to arbitrarily hear like one small word and be able to understand your whole context? Or are you kind of leading them along through this journey by using some complex wordplay? The fun in being clever is when people pick up that you're clever and get excited about it. I know I've been pretty intense in this video and kind of, saying like it has to be this way all the time. Really, honestly, I don't feel that way. You can do whatever you want to do. It's just really disheartening for me to see these really talented rappers come up with this complex wordplay, these really cool punchlines, all this stuff, and communicate it in a way that doesn't click. I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice, but if that's really the way that you want to write and communicate your lines, you should do that. You should do whatever is most comfortable for you and whatever feels right. But know that if you're not communicating clearly, people are going to have a really hard time picking up the cool concepts that you're spending time putting together. So just keep it in mind. Really, it's not a matter of being too complex. It's a matter of how you're communicating, if people can pick it up or not. That's all I've got for this video. As always, feel free to put your questions and comments down in the box below. I've also got a website for you to check out, rapbetter.com, as well as a course, a full 30-day how to rap course. I'll put a link to that down in the description. Beyond that, keep practicing, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comment box, and I'll get to them as quick as possible. See you guys.